The Vegas Golden Knights have clinched the division title and now look forward to the playoffs. But what are the keys to playoff success? Chris Gawlik of Locked On VGK joins us to talk about that and more next on today's Locked On NHL Podcast.
You're Locked On NHL, your daily podcast on the National Hockey League. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to the Monday edition of the Locked On NHL Podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I want to thank everyone who makes Locked On NHL your first listen every day. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts so you get new episodes as soon as they drop. It is my pleasure to welcome back to the show the co-host of Locked On Vegas Golden Knights, Chris Gawlik. And Chris, big news for Vegas. They clinched the division title. What does that mean for this team going forward?
Just another year in Vegas, another playoff run, fourth Pacific Division championship in not just 8 seasons, but the team's first 8 seasons. And that's a pinch me type of moment. One of my favorite moments actually happened during season 1. It was right after the Golden Knights defeated the San Jose Sharks and won the division back in 2018. And that was the moment where, like, okay, there's a good hockey team here. This isn't just a fluke. This is a real good hockey team, and watching the team celebrate on the ice. And it's amazing thinking about what happened between then and now.
Yeah, and this team just keeps finding ways to stay competitive, to stay at the top. And one thing that I think impresses me the most, the scoring depth that this team has. Talk to me about that and its importance for their success.
Brett Howden just scored his 23rd goal of the season last night. Brett Howden had 23 goals combined in the last 3 seasons before this season. Pavel Dorofeev is having a phenomenal breakout. It's not a rookie campaign, but it's a phenomenal breakout year. He's got 50 points, 33 goals. Going deeper, like a Keegan Colasar is having a fine season. Nicholas Waugh is right there. Tanner Pearson, a PTO in training camp, gets a deal after camp. He's got 27 points with 12 goals. Victor Olofsson, 14 goals. I mean, the depth is just absolutely phenomenal. And one of the biggest questions after, I guess you can call it Black July 1st here in Vegas, when Marchessault was gone, Logan Thompson was gone, Chandler Stevenson, Michael Amadio, Alec Martinez, William Carrier. I don't know if I forgot anybody. Where was the scoring going to come from? How is this team going to be successful? And what we just talked about with breakout years from a few players. And by the way, Jack Eichel, 93 points in 76 games is pretty solid too.
Yeah, amazing what happens when he stays healthy, right? I mean, it's
he's not healthy right now, though, but yes.
Yes, over the season, relatively speaking. No doubt. Is there a particular opponent that you want to face more? And is there a particular opponent you think that creates a matchup problem or a bigger matchup problem for Vegas?
I mean, I'm sweating the Flames game right now. They're leading the Sharks, and the Flames do have a shot to shake up the bottom of the wild card. Blues are at risk. Wild are at risk. If the Flames win out, and especially in regulation, that really can put some pressure on the Wild and the Blues, as they both have 1 game remaining, whereas the Flames have 2 games after the game they're playing right now. General perspective, the West is a gauntlet. Doesn't matter who you play. Not really. You got to go through them all at some point anyway. Winning the division gives the Golden Knights a shot at one of the wild card teams. Blues can always get hot. Of course, we saw what Binnington did in the Four Nations. That's going to be your number one concern with that team. Minnesota Wild, Marc-Andre Fleury will start there. He's in the twilight of his career, as he is either about to be in his last game if they don't qualify for the playoffs, or however long the Wild last will be Marc-Andre Fleury's end. You know, he wants to go out pretty high. Joel Eriksson Ek and Kirill Kaprizov are now back with the Minnesota Wild. That's not an easy out. And if the Flames do sneak in, talk about a team on house money with no care in the world, nothing to lose. In order, I guess, give me the Flames, the Blues, then the Wild. Flames being the weakest of the bunch, but that doesn't mean they're not capable of upsetting the Gold. All these teams can upset the Golden Knights. That's the beauty of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
No doubt. And it's what makes it the most difficult trophy to win. You got to go through 4 rounds of quality opponents in order to win it. What would you say are the biggest keys to playoff success for the Vegas Golden Knights this year?
Health and goaltending and health can be mentioned in the same sentence. As the Golden Knights are in their last couple games of the season, right now they're without Alex Pietrangelo and Jack Eichel. Injury related, not illness, injury related. My gut tells me they are resting them, and if this was a playoff scenario or a must-win, 81st game of the season coming up where the Golden Knights had to win to give them a chance for the playoffs, I think both are probably out there playing. I really think they're trying to be careful. Alex Pietrangelo withdrew from the Four Nations due to a lingering issue was the official reasoning. The lingering issue, whatever it is, you can see it coming out because he's not had one of his better seasons. He's still getting his 20-plus minutes a game. It's just not as good as it's been. Eichel, obviously, he's been on fire, but he cooled off a little bit before he missed these last few games. By the way, Golden Knights, even with all these players out, are still 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. Nicholas Hague, we think that's illness related. He's been out for the last couple games as well. So no Jack Eichel, no Stanley Cup, no Alex Pietrangelo, probably no Stanley Cup. Those two got to come back. And I mentioned goaltending a second ago. Aiden Hill, congrats to Aiden. 50 appearances in the 24-25 season. My number one knock on Aiden was his ability to stay healthy. He got 27 appearances his first season with the Golden Knights, a career high. 35 appearances the following season, a career high. Got a very nice contract extension just maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago now, however long it's been. And good on Aiden for getting 50 appearances. He'll probably finish the season with 51 appearances. So a new career high. If he can stay healthy in the playoffs, he put up the second best save percentage in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs when they started monitoring that stat. Second to only Tim Thomas, I believe, on the Bruins Stanley Cup run.
Yeah, so an impressive run. And again, if he can stay healthy and stay hot, obviously that helps. Is there someone who you would consider an unsung hero of this team for this season?
I mean, Braden McNabb is always the easiest one to bring up. Plays every game, plays well every game, doesn't necessarily do a lot of things that make you scratch your head back there. But I'll go with Brett Howden this year. Complete breakout. Like we said earlier, 23 goals this season. Only had 23 goals the last 3 seasons combined. He's the Swiss Army knife of this Golden Knights forward roster. He's had some times as some games as the top line center recently. He's played as the fourth line center. He's played as a fourth line winger. He kills penalties. He's played on the second line wing. He has centered a line with Mark Stone historically for a while when the Golden Knights had their Stanley Cup run. So looking at what Brett Howden has done, and the Golden Knights locked him up on a gem of a deal. I think it was $3 million AAV or $3.5 million AAV for like 4 or 5 seasons, and absolute steal. Kelly McCrimmon certainly knew what he was getting when he made that deal, and good on McCrimmon, good on Howden for delivering. But pretty easily to say Howden is the unsung hero. Maybe a write-in vote for Pavel Dorofeev for basically replacing Jonathan Marchessault's scoring outputs.
How big of a concern is the penalty kill heading into the playoffs?
I don't know. I mean, you got such a good roster right now. This is still that defensive core that's one of the most feared defensive cores in the entire National Hockey League. Pietrangelo and Hanifin, 2 players that can get 25 minutes a game out there. Shea Theodore is going to be the third one over. And then what Jack Eichel does as a two-way player, what Mark Stone does as a two-way player. Nicholas Waugh is an excellent penalty killer. I got this deep. I didn't even mention William Karlsson or Riley Smith, the power kill, the dynamic duo, so to speak, especially in the Golden Knights in the early years. That's so long ago, the early years. They're back in the day, 8 years ago. But looking at how well they performed together. So I'm talking myself off the ledge. I have zero concern once the calendar resets with the playoffs with the penalty kill.
All right, Chris, why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners where they could find the podcast and where they could find you on social media?
Yep, we are Locked On Golden Knights. Anywhere you catch your podcasts on YouTube or anywhere you catch your podcast. And I am TD Chris G, like touchdown, TD Chris G on Twitter.
All right, Chris, thanks so much.
Cool, thank you.
Today's episode is brought to you by Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. And with Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more, experts ready to help take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. If you need help with marketing campaign, Upwork can help you connect with a freelance expert who delivered incredible results. Posting a job is free and simple, and within a day, you'll have multiple qualified candidates to choose from. Instead of hiring full-time, Upwork helps you find affordable top-tier freelancers to scale my business efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com, to connect with top talent and grow your business today.